Explore the harrowing tale of Gaza and Israel, where the pursuit of peace clashes with the relentless cost of conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this in-depth exploration of a topic that has been at the forefront of international attention, the ongoing conflict between Gaza and Israel. This conflict has deep historical roots, and its recent escalation in 2023 has once again brought to the forefront the age-old question: what is the price of peace, and what is the cost of conflict? So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Historical context. To truly understand the complexities of this situation, we must first delve into its historical context. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict dates back to May 1948, when the State of Israel was established. Since then, this region has been marked by decades of tensions, wars, and negotiations. In recent years, the focus has been on the Gaza Strip, controlled by the Palestinian organization Hamas since 2007. The 2023 escalation. The year 2023 witnessed a dramatic escalation, reminiscent of the Yom Kippur War, which started 50 years earlier. Hamas, the governing body in Gaza, launched a coordinated offensive named Al-Aqsa Flood. This offensive involved a barrage of rockets launched at Israel, coupled with a breach of the Gaza-Israel barrier by Palestinian militants. The result was devastating. Over 1,400 Israelis lost their lives, most of them civilians. This violence took place notably during a Jewish holiday, adding an extra layer of tragedy. Root causes. Understanding the root causes of this conflict is vital. Hamas claimed its offensive was in response to several issues. These included what they termed the desecration of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Israeli blockade of Gaza, the expansion of Israeli settlements, and the violence of Israeli settlers. Israel, on the other hand, cited self-defense as the main reason for its military response. Humanitarian crisis. The aftermath of the conflict was not just about lives lost, but also about a burgeoning humanitarian crisis. Israel's military campaign, which included airstrikes in Gaza, led to the deaths of over 6,000 Palestinians. Fears of a humanitarian catastrophe grew as Israel cut off essential supplies, such as food, water, electricity, and fuel to Gaza. This added to the existing blockade enforced by both Egypt and Israel. Displaced population. The United Nations reported that nearly half of Gaza's population, around 1 million Palestinians, were internally displaced. The international community and human rights groups, including the United Nations, decried the situation and called for an immediate ceasefire. They also called for support for the displaced Gazans and raised concerns about civilian casualties. Global reactions. This conflict wasn't confined to the borders of Gaza and Israel. It had global repercussions. While 44 nations, predominantly Western countries, denounced Hamas and labeled its actions as terrorism, countries in the Middle East called for de-escalation and pointed to Israel's decades-long occupation of Palestinian territories as the underlying issue. Iran, a major player in the region, warned Israel and threatened to intervene if a ground invasion of Gaza occurred. Economic impact. The economic consequences of the Gaza-Israel conflict are far-reaching. In Gaza, the destruction of infrastructure due to Israeli airstrikes has been devastating, resulting in billions of dollars in damages. Frequent power cuts have disrupted daily life and hampered economic activities. Shortages of basic necessities like food and medicine have left Gazans struggling to meet their basic needs. This, in turn, has stifled economic growth, further deepening the humanitarian crisis. In Israel, the call-up of over 300,000 reservists strained the labor supply and disrupted normal economic activities. Investment in tourism, crucial drivers of Israel's economy, took a significant hit. Investors became wary of the region's instability, and tourists canceled or postponed their trips, affecting businesses across the country. The conflict's economic impact reverberated through sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and services, causing widespread losses. Risk of contagion. The Gaza-Israel conflict carries the ominous risk of contagion, potentially spreading beyond the immediate boundaries of these two parties. One concerning scenario is the involvement of Hezbollah, a fundamentalist militant group based in South Lebanon. Hezbollah's historical enmity with Israel, coupled with its substantial military capabilities, makes it a credible threat. A resumption of hostilities with Hezbollah could lead to severe consequences, both in terms of human casualties and economic damage. There is also the lingering possibility of a direct war with Iran, a major oil producer and regional rival of Israel. Iran has long provided support to both Hamas and Hezbollah, and although a direct Iran-Israel war is not imminent, the consequences would be far-reaching. Such a conflict could prompt other nations, such as the United States, to become involved, putting significant strain on the global oil supply chain and potentially raising oil prices to unprecedented levels. Oil prices and global impact. The Gaza-Israel conflict has profound implications for global oil markets and subsequently, the world economy. Oil prices were already climbing prior to the conflict, and the ongoing tensions have further exacerbated this trend. The situation has raised concerns about potential supply disruptions, particularly if the crisis embroils Iran or impacts oil production in Iraq, contributing to market volatility. Oil prices have surged by approximately $5 per barrel since the conflict's commencement, even in the absence of direct disruption to oil production. Sustained higher oil prices pose a significant challenge to economic stability, particularly in nations that are net importers of oil, as they grapple with increased energy costs across industries. Additionally, rising energy prices complicate central banks' efforts to manage inflation. The International Monetary Fund estimates that a 10% increase in global oil prices could push global inflation up by 0.4 percentage points, adding a layer of uncertainty to the global economic outlook. Global risk aversion. Geopolitical tensions resulting from the Gaza-Israel conflict have reverberated globally, affecting financial markets and investor sentiment. Rising global risk aversion leads to increased uncertainty, wider spreads, and greater demand for safe haven assets like the US dollar and gold. While the initial reaction in financial markets was relatively muted, the longer the conflict persists, the greater the potential for financial turmoil. Anxiety over the conflict's impact on energy markets, particularly oil prices, has already pushed prices higher. This is concerning for many countries that are net importers of oil, as it can lead to higher inflation and economic instability. Further complicating the situation is the risk of disruptions in gas supplies, which has already put upward pressure on European gas prices. Moreover, rising geopolitical tensions can negatively affect confidence, leading to a drop in consumer and business spending. This can have a detrimental impact on aggregate demand in countries already grappling with economic vulnerabilities, particularly emerging markets and developing economies. Regional outlook. Israel, with its strong economy and financial stability, could weather the storm, but not without challenges. Other countries in the region, already facing economic hardships, had their vulnerabilities exposed. Lebanon, Jordan, and Egypt, heavily reliant on tourism and facing economic difficulties, could face even more significant challenges. The conflict between Gaza and Israel is a multifaceted issue with deep historical roots. The 2023 escalation had severe humanitarian, economic, and global consequences. It also cast a shadow of uncertainty on the future of this volatile region. The price of peace in this land is immeasurable, and the cost of conflict is high, not just for the people directly involved, but for the world as a whole. If you found this video informative, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next video.